Hello, and welcome back, everybody, to the second to last episode of Job. I know it's been a it's been an experience, right, and a wild ride, and you know, sometimes you gotta play a role, and maybe I've been playing Job, and maybe Job has been playing himself. So I don't know, you know. There's a lot of parts of it where you can look into yourself into certain situations, right, in your life where like maybe things haven't gone your way, right? And how do you react? How do you come back from it, right? That's the reaction. And like when people tell you no, it's a sign, right? But the way you respond to it, right, if it's based in God, should be fine. But it is, right? I mean, in the moment it means so much, but like in the grand scheme of things, it is. It's worth, moving on for, I guess, right? And keep going. You can't do anything to change what has already happened, so you gotta keep it on a moving. And I've been contemplating things. Ooh. What was it? Cosmic background radiation. So I was watching a video about, they used to have tubes which were vacuum sealed, and they would run electricity through it, and it slows the electricity down, right? That's what a transistor is. So the tubes eventually became transistors, which all they do, right, is control the flow of electricity. You know? Is it? I think. I don't know. It's all science. It's all magic. uh, uh, do they? I don't know. But then he was talking about like superconductive metals at really low temperatures, like close to 0 Kelvin. Then electricity and things just start acting weird. So you can get like things to levitate. And they also found evidence of entangled particles with that same kind of thing, right? Which I don't understand at all, right? But even when I was learning in school, when we learned about temperature and they told us about, right, you have zero, but then you have absolute zero, which is negative 273 Kelvin, or Celsius, which is like 0 Kelvin. I don't exactly remember. It's been a long time, but it's really cold, right? And all that really means is that all the metabolic function, so all the cells are vibrating not a lot. And things should be like dead, quote unquote, right? Because there's no motion. But things just seem to occur. And it's when I think scientists get to discoveries like that, is like kind of when you can see God in a way, because like that's a long way from learning your A, B's, and C's, you know? Just think about it. So, alright, let's get into the Word of God. I apologize. 40. Moreover, the Lord answered Job and said, shall the one who contends with the Almighty correct him? He who rebukes God, let him answer it. So God is now giving him his opportunity. He said, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Then Job answered the Lord and said, I'm sorry. Behold, I am vile. What shall I answer you? I'm like an ant, dude. I lay my hand over my mouth. Once I have spoken, but I will not answer. Yes, twice, but I will proceed no further. He said, hold up. I'm going to shut up real quick. I lost everything, but I don't want to lose my life, right? What the? Job, what is going on? Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, now prepare yourself like a man. He said, take what's coming to you. I will question you and you shall answer me. Would you indeed annul my judgment? You gonna prove me wrong, dude? Would you condemn me that you may be justified? Have you an arm like God? Look, in God's perspective, I don't know if this is the reasoning you should be going with, but you right. I can't do any of that. Can't do any of that. I guess, right? It's just like, I know adults who act like that. I guess it's not so prevalent anymore, right? But I guess. Then adorn yourself with majesty and splendor, and array yourself with glory and beauty. Disperse the rage of your wrath. Look on everyone who is proud and humble him. Look on everyone who is proud and bring him low. God, what are you saying right now? I mean, you should be saying this to Job so he says it to himself in the mirror and then displays that behavior towards other people, right? Because that's how projection is really supposed to work. Made by God. Just because all of you have been misusing projection to just project your fears onto other people, you should be using your projection in a productive manner, right? Project the image of God onto things and see how much better they are instead of just projecting your fears. Your fears are supposed to be murdered within you, right? Smothered. Fucking right. And I know, right? I know some of you gasping. Oh, how could he say that? Shut up. Right? I'm sorry. That's a jarring experience to be told to shut up. But like, you were supposed to tell yourself that before you said it. You know? Like, not all your thoughts are supposed to make it out of your head. Not all of them are good. And I think a lot of that is covered a little bit in the Bible with some of the conclusions that people be drawing in the Bible. But like, maybe we need a reminder. Maybe this is it. Stop letting weird things out of your head. Just think, dude. And then eventually, right? Then you can talk more. If you make the effort to go through it, right? Then it's just like you're getting over the initial rummaging through all of it, right? And figuring out what can be done, what cannot be done, right? Blah, blah, blah. Listen to people's reactions too, as well, right? They're made by God. Why is that not, I don't know. Live your life, but do it better. I don't know. Do it for God, right? Stop doing it for yourself. Despise the rage of your wrath. Look on everyone who is proud and humble. Tread down the wicked in their place. Hide them in the dust together. Bind their faces in the hidden darkness. Then I will also confess to you that your own right hand can save you. Look now at the behemoth, which I made along with you. He eats grass like an ox. See now his strength is in his hips, and his power is in his stomach muscles. He moves his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his thighs are tightly knit. His bones are like beams of bronze. His ribs are bars of iron. He is the first of the ways of God. Only he who made him can bring near his sword. Surely the mountains yield food for him, and all the beasts of the field play there. He lies under the lotus tree, in a covert of reeds and marsh. The lotus tree covers him with their shade. The willows by the brooks surround him. Indeed, the river may rage, yet he is not disturbed. He is confident, though the Jordan gushes into his mouth, though he takes it in his eyes, or one pierces his nose with a snare. The behemoth, Job, at the end of the day, is himself. And here you are, Job, sitting in the desert, wishing that you weren't you. Ooh, I know that hurts. But, you are you at the end of the day, Job. And the sooner that you, Job, and you, listener, and me, John, accept that fact, right? The sooner maybe then we can move on, right? If anybody and everybody understood that. And I also enjoy his use of the behemoth and the leviathan, which is about to come up, which are heavenly beings. They may show up in the Book of Enoch, but I have one other reference, which I know a lot of people aren't going to like, but it does show up. Reference. So it's in Psalms, Isaiah, and Job. It's also referenced in another book, but we're not going to go into that because we don't need to. But they're real beings, and God made them, right? And they were themselves, and they were unobstructed by anything else. The only thing in the entire universe that could do anything to them was God. And God said, look at that behemoth. He doesn't have a care in the world. And he's my best friend. And you, Job, sitting here in the desert, being a little bitch. Crying, dude. Go get your life back. That's what God is saying to him right now. And Job is just sitting there being a little pansy, dude. So, we have our first example, the behemoth. The second one, the leviathan. So the land is now, but the sea is near. Can you draw out leviathan with a hook? Not you, Job. I can, though. Not me, but God. Or snare his tongue with the line which you lower? Can you put a reed through his nose, or pierce his jaw with a hook? Will he make many supplications to you? I don't think so, buddy. Will he speak softly to you? Will he nestle with you? Will he rub your hair? Will he tuck you in at night before you go to bed? No, he's going to eat you, Job. He's going to, without even thinking about it, dude. You're going to be leviathan poop on the ocean floor. Will he make a covenant with you? Will you take him as a servant forever? Will you play with him as with a bird? Or will you leash him with your maidens? Will your companions make a banquet of him? Will you apportion him among the merchants? Can you fill his skin with harpoons or his head with fishing spears? Lay your hand on him? Remember the battle? Never do it again? Indeed, any hope of overwhelming him is false. Shall no one not or shall one not be overwhelmed at the sight of him? No one is so fierce that he should dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand against me? God's on a little power trip right now. But Job, mad disrespectful. And that's why this had to happen, right? He should have, I mean, he called the Israelites stiff-necked people, which I think is hilarious. That's one of the funniest things ever. And the fact, what makes it even funnier, right, is that he makes Moses call them stiff-necked people. And that's what makes it even better, is that there was layers to it. And they knew it. They knew it at the end of the day. I don't know. What if you were there? You'd been like, hey, that's kind of harsh, God. But then at the end of the day, well, they said it, right? They were like, why don't we go back to Egypt? That's ridiculous, dude. You can't be doing that. I will not conceal his limbs, his mighty power, or his graceful proportions. Who can remove his outer coat? Not me. Who can approach him with a double bridle? I don't even know what that is. What is a double bridle? Double bridle. A type of horse bridle that uses two separate bits, a snaffle bit. What is a double bridle in the Bible? What is that? Okay. So, are you going to tame the Leviathan, Job? I think not. Who can open the doors of his face with his terrible teeth all around? Are you going to tear his jaw open to force feed him his pills when he needs it, Job? I've been doing that for the last 1,000 years. Right? I've been giving him his medication. Not you, Job. So you sit down, you mother. His rows of scales are his pride, shut up tightly as with a seal. One is so near another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together and cannot be parted. His sneezings flash forth light. What? First of all, to know that sea creatures sneeze. Disgusting. Somehow to know. And secondly, that he shines light. That's terrifying. Another reason I don't want to go into the ocean. Thank you. My goodness. His eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Ah! Out of his mouth go burning lights. Sparks of fire shoot out. Why is the description of the Leviathan so much more jarring than that of the behemoth? We barely get a description of the behemoth, but we're really being... I never want to go into the ocean again. Unless it's going to be like a sauna or a mountain spring, you know? I don't know. I'm getting heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. Smoke goes out of its nostrils. Even in the ocean? As from a boiling pot and burning rushes, his breath kindles coals, and a flame goes out of his mouth. Strength dwells in his neck, and sorrow dances before him. I'm sure anything that comes before him is in not reaching any good ends. A lot of sorrow is befitting them. Sounds like fire, though. His breath kindles coals, and a flame goes out of his mouth. The strength dwells in his neck. This is a dragon. You telling me dragons aren't real? I know dragons are real, dude. That's a dragon, if I've ever heard one. Doesn't matter if it's in the ocean or not. I don't even know if this says it's in the ocean. But I think with the fishing thing, it's supposed to be implied. The fire thing, though, very cool. But definitely dragons. So dragons. And I talked a couple episodes ago. I do apologize because I forgot exactly what episode. But I was talking about media affecting the way that you think. And I just so happened to read a series of books as a child. And I'm going to see if I can get them. A name for you right here. And pretty much it gave a pretty good depiction of history. But it just replaced dragons. It is by Naomi Novik. And like the Civil War, dude. Dragons. Dope. So cool. It was really cool. And they did ones in China, I think. Naomi. Let's see if I can get it. Temeraire is a series of 9 alternative history fantasy novels written by the American author Naomi Novik. The novels follow the adventures of Captain William Lawrence and his dragon, the eponymous Temeraire, a reimagined events. Oh, right, of the Neapolitanic Napoleonic Wars with an air force of dragons. Right, manned by crews of aviators. So the Napoleonic Wars as well, which I did completely forget about, but that's pretty much right. It was very, very interesting. A little bit grown up for me to be reading, but it is what it is. And I wish I could remember more of it. But very cool. And to say, right, that's what I was reading as a kid. I was reading a lot of magic and stuff. So, like, that's the stuff I think about. Dragons are real. People are throwing fireballs. It's a thing. And it's okay. Some people, I watched Star Wars, but I didn't internalize it. I watched Jurassic Park, but I didn't internalize it. Because I didn't agree with it, right? When I watched it, right, it didn't give me the feelies inside. So I didn't go for that. I got the feelies when I watched Harry Potter. And maybe that makes me different. But who knows? What do you want? Who is this? Sorry. When he raises himself up, the mighty are afraid. Oh, I skipped. So dragon, right? Breathing fire. Sorry, I really got lost at that. The folds of his flesh are joined together. They are firm on him and cannot be moved. 23. His heart is as hard as stone, even as hard as a lower millstone. Or as the lower millstone. And as millstones were used, they were used to grind up things. And the lower one would have the smallest clearance, right? So you'd have the smallest pellets coming out of it. When he raised himself up, the mighty are afraid. Because of his crushings, they are beside themselves. Though the sword reaches him, it cannot avail, nor does spear, dart, or javelin. Who is throwing these things at a sea monster? I mean, I guess you get a temporary if you know it's coming kind of thing, but like, you know, that's not how sea monsters do. He regards iron as straw, he says. That tastes weird. And bronze as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones become like stubble to him. Darts are regarded as straw. He laughs at the threat of javelins. His undersides are like sharp potsherds. He spreads pointed marks in the mire. He makes the deep boil like a pot. He makes the sea like a pot of ointment. He leaves a shining wake behind him. Oh, we got oil. Who one would think the deep had white hair. On earth there is nothing like him, which is made without fear. He beholds every high thing. He is king over all the children of pride. Well, that's terrifying. So, you know, I hate that this is the second time that we've come to this, but like, how is God's reaction to this? I'll kill you. He said the same thing to the Israelites. You know? And God just comes down and he's like, hey, you know these two things that I created that aren't even me? And they could kill you. You couldn't even touch me, dude. You're like a little amoeba over there. You know? Which, if I were God, I guess I would make that argument as well. It's a pretty good one to have, right? You know, it's not every day that you get to say that. And only God gets to say that kind of stuff. So, I didn't make the earth. Just here living on it. And so are you. So be nicer. You be nicer. You're already pretty nice. Talking to Buggy. Nova. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, come on. Say hello. You want to say hello? Try to say hello. Hello. This is Nova. And she is being very nice. She's very loud though. Yes, you are. Very loud. Yes. Very loving. Yes, they are. And this is Triton. Yes, there he is. There you are, buddy. And he's shy. He's a shy boy. So, find some peace. Thank God for giving us another opportunity to learn and grow as human beings every day, week, month, year, decade, dog year. May our wisdom be measured in dog years. Isn't that right? And that's the only way to get smart, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, it is. Find some peace.